You wanted to see me, Governor?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Powell. Miss Ferguson, the women tell me you're running an insurance scheme.
Just another one of their tricks. They soon became very quiet when I threatened to bring them to you about it.
Yes, I know they're unwilling to talk about it. I also have a fair idea why.
Are you accusing me of anything, Governor?
No, but I do have to take the matter seriously. They are not the only complaints I've received.
You mean Jill Clark?
Yes.
Her reports are hardly factual.
Why do you say that?
The women knew from the beginning that she was working for the department. They probably fed her all kinds of rot.
I am taking that into account. I'm curious to know how you found out about her.
Any fool could have picked it. She asked too many questions. Her cover was sloppy, and she had no conviction.
How do you know that?
Well, I thought it rather strange when you and Mr. Douglas visited her in solitary. So I rang the courts.
You had no right to do that. It did not concern you.
I thought it did.
Very well. I have no proof of your involvement. But a corrupt officer is a very serious matter.
Of course.
If I get the slightest shred of evidence, I can assure you your employment will terminate immediately. Is that understood?
Yes, Governor. But I can assure you, you won't find any.
Squeak Birdsworth. What the hell do you think you were doing this afternoon?
Nothing, Miss Ferguson.
You were trying to embarrass me in front of the deputy governor. Yes. You were trying to make sure that the governor heard all sorts of unpleasant things about me.
I didn't mean it.
Fancy yourself as top dog now that Smith's gone, do you?
No.
Oh, I hope not. It's no place for an old woman with a weak heart. And it is weak. Isn't it, Birdsworth?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, Miss Ferguson.
That's better. Now, you just remember, Birdsworth, I can come in here any time I like. And that'd be a terrible strain on a bad heart. So you just keep your mouth shut from now on. I don't want my name connected with insurance schemes or anything else. You got that, Birdsworth? Good. I'm glad we understand each other.
What the hell do you think you're doing, Dobson? Get to the laundry.
I was told I didn't have to work if I didn't want to.
Read your rule book, girl. You're not in remand now. You've been convicted. And sentenced. You've joined the scum. And you'll work like the rest of them. You thought you were pretty smart smuggling your boyfriend in here, didn't you? Well, I won't forget it. This is a prison, Dobson. And a prison is for punishment. And, this prison is my domain.
Now, I'm going to arrange a couple of visitors for the freak one day. Mafia hitmen.
All right, you lot, move out. Except Daniels. I want a word with you. Now, I heard what you just said. And that comes under the heading of insubordination, and that's against the rules, Daniels. And according to the governor, you break the rules, you've got to be punished. Come on.
Where to?
To your cell. We don't want to be disturbed, do we? For punishment, you will lose certain privileges, and that includes all the little bits and pieces you've recently acquired. Now, for a start, those posters, get them down. Don't make it any worse for yourself, Daniels. Get them down now. Oh, dear, it's torn. What a pity. Let's see how strong the other are.
No, please don't get him. I'm sorry. I won't talk back again.
Well, you should have thought of that before you shut your mouth off, Daniels.
I'm not them. I haven't been in training them.
Oh, what a shame. And it's going to be a long time before you do. But don't take it too bad, Daniels. Just think of it as a Bible lesson. What the department giveth, the officers can taketh away. Get on with your duties. Hello, Anderson, Henley, outside. Time for your reading lesson. It's Noddy in Toyland. That should keep you amused for a while.
Tor. I can't do it.
Yes, you can. Come on.
What's the matter, Henley? Not enough pictures?
Miss Ferguson, please.
You're wasting your time, Mr. Maxwell. Be far better off in a school teaching kids with some sort of a future. See, the police have got a lead on Smith.
About her being in Sydney? Yeah, I heard.
I thought she'd turn up in a place like that. It's perfect. Easy to get lost in.
She really gets to you, doesn't she?
She made a fool of me, and nobody does that and gets away with it. She'll learn that the hard way when she gets back in here.
Well, of course, they've got to catch her first. And if I know Smith, that won't be easy.
They'll catch her all right. Then she'll find out that she's just a common thug and not the high and mighty queen bee that she thinks she is. She'll learn that the hard way. Don't worry, officer. This one will be well taken care of from now on.
Good.
Well taken care of. You made a fool out of me, Smith. Sending me on that wild goose chase after Daniels and then walking out of here in my uniform.
Oh, leave me alone.
I suppose you thought it wouldn't matter. That you wouldn't be coming back. But you are back, Smith, aren't you?
Look, you're not going to get a fight out of me.
You've had it with the women, Smith. And with me.
Then why are you here? Come to bash me?
You'll keep, Smith. I can be very patient. A little chat about Smith.
Look, I've done what you wanted. I'm top dog now.
But that could change when Smith gets back among the women.
Why should it? I can supply them with happy dreams. That's what they want.
Only if I allow it. Now listen, I know Barker's your courier. I can grab him and cut off your supply any time I like.
Why the hell should you want to do that? I've done what you wanted.
But I want more, Mackenzie. You see, I want Smith bashed. Very, very badly.
Ah, Miss Ferguson.
Mr. Douglas.
Now, I take it you will be applying for the governorship?
Yes, I've been working on my application.
Good. Very good. Well, you make sure you send it in, because I have a feeling you've got a very good chance.
Where the hell do you think you're going, Birdsworth?
In the library, bashed.
What are you talking
One
about?
of the women being bashed in the library.
Get down to the next floor and get Officer O'Shea. And Birdsworth, don't run. You might have another heart attack. Getting a bit of exercise, are we?
You'd say that.
Oh, I'll have to, won't I? Especially if the governor asks. But then I can just say you and your cronies were on recreation period.
Fair enough.
Go back through the toilet block. Birdsworth and Officer O'Shea are on their way up the stairs. Make sure Birdsworth keeps her mouth shut. Get up, Smith. Get up, Smith!
I had to witness the bird like to make my dinner.
Shut up, Smith! Now get on your feet and get to the sister. Get up, Smith.
I need your opinion on this overtime, okay?
Right, I'll get it. Staff room. Speaking. Oh, wonderful. Where are you? Yeah. Well, what flight are you on? I'll meet you at the airport. Oh. Well, all right. No. Oh, it'll be lovely to see you. Yeah, right. Bye.
Great, thanks. Look, if you need me, I'll be with B. Smith in the hospital.
Mrs. Powell, look, I know it's short notice, but I wonder if I could have a few days off. That was my father.
Oh, well, I'm not sure.
Well, it's just that I haven't seen him for ages.
Look, I'll check the rosters and see what I can do.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
You sent for me, Mrs. Powell?
Yes, come in. Look, Joan, it's about your request for time off. I'm sorry, but it's a bit difficult at the moment. Hall and Ward, they're due to go on annual leave at the end of the week, so it's going to leave us rather short-handed, especially as I've had to take over from Mrs. Davidson.
Of course, I understand.
I take it you haven't seen your father for some time?
No, he retired to a property outside Forbes, and it's a little bit far for regular visits.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'll certainly arrange the roster so that you don't have any overtime while he's here.
Thank you. I'd appreciate some time with him. Mrs. Powell, I know it's a little irregular, but there would be any possibility of my father inspecting the prison while he's here?
Inspecting?
Oh, I don't mean anything official. Just a look around.
Well, I don't know. The women might object, and I certainly don't want them to think they're on public display.
I wouldn't have thought that would be a consideration.
Well, it is at the moment. I don't want to make waves.
Look, he's not just anybody. He is a retired army major, and he takes an active interest in community affairs.
And he is your father. Leave it with me. I'll see what I can do, okay?
Thank you. You! Stop right there. Now, you're new here, and you've obviously never been in prison before. But you're going to learn very quickly that you don't just wander around as you like.
My body might be behind bars, but my spirit is free.
Oh, is that so? Well, then we'd better tie you down in case you start floating around your cell.
Oh, you have an order to repress guilt and aggression.
Don't give me any of your rubbish or you'll be sorry, understand?
Yes.
Miss Ferguson.
Yes, Miss Ferguson.
Right. Now get to your cell, and don't let me catch you at any of your cheap circus tricks again. See the governor's jobs advertised today?
I suppose they'll get dozens of applicants.
You applying?
Haven't made up my mind yet. You will be, obviously.
I'd be mad not to.
Yes, I guess your father would expect it of you.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, nothing. Just imagine that seeing he's obviously a careers man, he'd expect you to go for any chance of promotion.
My father was a professional soldier and would expect any officer, no matter what the service, to try and better themselves. And that is what I intend to do. Oh, no, it was my fault. I naturally assumed you'd be having lunch here.
Yes, I would have, but it turned out that they fed us on the flight.
Oh, well, probably would have been too late anyway. Maybe we can have dinner tonight.
Oh, not tonight, I'm afraid. I have a dinner engagement with Colonel Matthews. You remember Matthews? Bevan Matthews?
No, I don't think I do.
Oh, no, of course you wouldn't. It's catching up with Bevan that's my main reason for the visit. Naturally, it's a good opportunity to see you again, too.
Where's your luggage?
I left it at the motel.
But I thought you'd be staying here.
Well, I didn't know what your setup was. I wasn't sure if there'd be room.
Yeah. Well, not to worry. Maybe we can have dinner tomorrow night.
Yes, I've kept it free for just that purpose. Where's Haddo?
I lost him.
Run away?
No, he died. I miss him. He was the only friend I had.
Yes. Must be difficult making friends in a new city, I suppose.
I don't really need them. I get along quite well on my own.
How are you settling into the job?
Oh, very well. As a matter of fact, the governor's position has just become available. Naturally, I've applied for it. And it seems likely that I'll get it.
Sounds as though you're getting back into your stride again.
Oh, I've organised a tour of the prison for you this afternoon. You will be able to make it, won't you?
Well, I don't see why not. I had nothing definite planned, and it could be an interesting experience.
Right, attention everyone. The acting governor will be here in a moment with a VIP guest who is making a tour of the prison. Now, you will all behave in a civil manner and speak only when spoken to. And there will be no smoking while the Major is here, understand that?
Did you say Major, Miss Ferguson?
That's right, Birdsworth. Major. And you will address him, if you must, by that rank.
Is he a Salvation Army Major?
No, Birdsworth, he is not.
Well, this is the laundry section.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Oh, I thought you were a Salvation Army Major.
Birdsworth.
That's quite all right, Mrs.
Birdsworth, Elizabeth Birdsworth.
No, actually, I'm a retired army major, Mrs. Birdsworth. One of the boys in khaki.
Oh.
Lizzie's one of our long-termers. She's almost part of the place.
Oh, I take it then that you're in charge of the laundry.
No, they wouldn't put me in charge of a chicken coop. Not that I blame them. This is Bea Smith. She's in charge.
Miss Smith?
Oh, how do you do, Major?
Well, don't let me stop you at your work. I am quite sure that you're very anxious to get back to it.
Excuse me, Mrs. Powell. I think they might be ready for us in the dining room now.
Right. Major Ferguson?
Goodbye, ladies. And thank you for your time.
Bye. Can't you ever do anything you're told? You do not talk to a major like that. Now get back to work. All of you.
God, would you get on the freak? Anyone would think we had God on a tour of inspection.
Yeah, but did you cop on to what Powell called him? Major Ferguson. Maybe he and the freak are related.
No way that those two could come from the same family. You could tell he's a real gentleman.
Hey, come back, Major. Lizzie's got the hots for you.
Don't be such a dirty little bugger. He wouldn't bloody believe you anyway. He could tell that I'm a lady.
What?
Mrs. Birdsworth must be quite a card.
Yes, you could say that. She's been out a couple of times, but always manages to get herself brought back in. I'd say it's her home now.
Sorry about that. I had to have a word with the women. They tend to get a bit out of hand when a stranger appears on the scene.
Oh, really? They seem quite a decent lot to me.
Decent? It's not the army, Father. They're murderers and thieves. You've got to watch them every step of the way.
But people, Joan, still people. Hello again, Mrs. Morris.
Oh, Major, how's the tour?
Very impressive.
Well, here's the dining room.
How's it going?
Just as I thought. Slack discipline, no cooperation. My God, things are going to change around here when I'm governor, I can tell you that.
Milk, Major?
Yes, please.
Well, what do you think of our ladies' home away from home?
Well, I found it very enlightening. Mrs. Powell's just been telling me some of the stories that have gone on behind the walls, so to speak. You certainly don't have time to get bored.
Oh, no, there's always something cropping up to keep us on our toes.
I must say, I do appreciate your giving me so much of your time, Mrs. Powell.
Pleasure, Major. You're certainly no trouble to entertain.
And I really would like to repay your hospitality. Now, Joan and I are dining out tomorrow night, and we'd love you and your husband to join us.
That'd be wonderful, Colleen.
Well, thank you. Naturally, I'd love to accept, but I think Patrick might have something on tomorrow night, and one of us would have to look after the children.
Oh, no, that's all right. I'll babysit.
Generous of you, Meg.
Oh, that's a pity, Mrs. Morris, because I was hoping that you'd be able to join us too.
Oh.
Yes, here it is. Pat could look after the children tomorrow night, so it would be perfect. It would just be the four of us.
Ah, that's excellent. I'm sure Joan will be delighted too.
Would you like to say goodbye to Joan before you leave?
Oh, no, I wouldn't like to take her away from her duties. I'll see her after work.
All right, ladies, line up. Time to go back to work.
Come on, get moving, you heard Mrs. Morris. I want to see a straight line. You all look like a mob of cattle. Where the hell do you think you're going? Get back into line.
Joan, don't you think that it
Don't
would...
worry, I can handle this. Mr. Mackenzie, I made you top dog. Now you get them back into line and into that prison.
Can't do a thing. Smith's in the seat again.
Get them back into line, Smith.
I beg your pardon.
Get the women into line.
Yeah, sure. Okay, ladies, let's line up. Right.
Mackenzie, get here. So, Smith's back as top dog, eh? How did that happen?
I had some supplies coming in to be a different story.
Yeah, well, you want an unlimited supply of drugs, and I want to get rid of Smith. Permanently. I think we can come to some arrangement.
I'll think about it.
You do that, Mackenzie. Well, Mackenzie, are you in or not?
Depends. If we're going to fix Smith, I want to make bloody sure she stays fixed. I mean, what are we going to tell the screws if she ends up looking like a piece of raw meat?
Oh, believe me, she won't have a mark on her. Not physically. When we're through with Smith, she's going to spend the rest of her life in hospital. You see, I've found a chink in her armour. Trust me.
Trust you? You're out of your head.
Oh, not me, Mackenzie. But you're on the right track. Now, are you with me or not?
Why not? I've got nothing to lose, have I?
How right you are.
Please, stay with me for a while.
Didn't you hear the bell, Smith?
Sure, but...
And get to your cell right now.
You know, you missed your calling, Miss Ferguson. You sound exactly like a sergeant major.
Watch it, Smith.
I'll save your breath. I'm going.
No, please, Peg. I don't want to be on my own. It'll come back in the dark. I know it will.
What's she moaning about?
The kid is having a bad trip.
Trip?
Yes, trip. Acid. LSD. Someone managed to get it past the screws, but I don't suppose you know anything about that, Miss Ferguson.
Get out, Smith.
Just hang in there, kid. You're going to be all right.
Oh, no, don't shut me in, Miss Ferguson, please.
This is ridiculous. I can't stay here all day. I left Joan Barfield in charge.
At last.
Well, hope I didn't keep you waiting too long.
No, not at all.
Right. See you both back at Wentworth.
Bye. Probably gone straight to the governor's office.
Now, don't throw in the towel yet. After all, They haven't seen us.
Just a minute, Moonbeam. Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to lie down. I don't feel very well.
Haven't you got work left to do?
I've done my work. Everything you wanted.
Everything?
I've just left B. Smith in pieces in there after telling her daughter was murdered. Isn't that what you wanted?
For a start. You've done well. I'll give you that.
Can I go now?
For now. But don't sleep too heavily. You'll be getting a visitor later tonight. And Moonbeam, this is only the beginning.
I've been here before. It's not bad. Shouldn't imagine Joan has, though.
Well, at least we'll get to know what she's like outside Wentworth.
Oh, my God. I'd hardly consider that one of the high spots of my life. What do you suppose she eats, raw meat?
Oh, Colleen, really? Speak of the devil.
Well, I see you beat me to it. I didn't think I was late.
Joan, that's a lovely suit. You look very nice.
What? Oh, thanks. Oh, here's my father.
Ah, all present and correct. Well, I've organised some fine wines and the best table in the house. So, shall we go? This looks very tempting. Not like the army. I remember when I first joined up asking my sergeant why they called the dining room the mess. And he said, "Wait till you've eaten there, boy, you'll understand."
You must have been very happy in the army, Major.
Yes, I suppose I was. And what about you? I watched the way that you handled those women at Wentworth. They trust you. It's obvious you're dedicated to your job, too. Joan, you haven't touched your lobster. There's nothing wrong, is there?
No, everything's perfect.
What was I saying? Oh, yes. I always think you can tell a lot about a person's character by the way they handle people. What about you, Colleen?
Absolutely.
And now, the three of you are in the running for the governorship. I think that a little toast is in order. To three lovely ladies, may the best man... well, you know the rest.
Something wrong with the wine?
I thought you'd have remembered. I'm on late shift.
Have I told you about my son, Brian? Excellent lad, could have gone far in the service, but he chose public relations, whatever that means. He's the state manager now, so he must be pretty good at it. Well, I can't remember when I've enjoyed an evening more. Joan, you didn't tell me you had such charming friends.
You never asked me, Father.
Joan, are you all right? I haven't been boring you, have I?
No, I'm just a little tired. I've done a couple of double shifts this week, and I'm due back in an hour or so.
There. Dedication, you see. You're to be congratulated on your staff, Colleen.
Thank you very much.
And as for you, Meg, well, all I can say is I wish I'd had you in my unit. What an officer you would have made.
Major.
Oh, Lord. Put my foot in it, didn't I?
I'm afraid so.
Colleen, please, would you go after her?
Don't you think it'd be better if...
I wouldn't know what to say to her. I've never known what to say to her.
All right.
I'm afraid I've been a bit of a bore. Honestly, Meg, we've tried so hard to reach each other, but our timing's always wrong. Whenever one of us gives a little, the other one always backs off. You see, Joan so desperately wanted an army career. When that didn't work out, she went into the prison service. I think she wanted me to see that she could do well in a position of authority.
Yes, I gathered as much.
Oh, how could I be so tactless?
Well, you can't blame yourself.
Well, she won't come back. In fact, she's called a taxi. Look, I really do think...
Yes, of course. I'm terribly sorry. Excuse me.
Cheers.
Joan. Please, my dear, I realize I've hurt you, but it wasn't intentional. I'm very sorry.
So am I, Father.
Won't you please come back to the table and we'll forget all about it?
Forget about it? I've been humiliated all evening. seem perfectly at ease with a pair of complete strangers like those two in there, but never once in my entire life have you had any time for me, no matter how hard I tried to please you.
My dear, that isn't true.
Then what is? Don't you see? I have to belong somewhere. The army turned me down, and my own father doesn't even know I exist. So you tell me, where do I belong?
Joan, don't go like this. I'm leaving tomorrow.
You left me years ago, Father.
Wentworth Detention Centre, please.
Get up. You gave such a good performance before. I'm going to let you do an encore.
No, I don't want
Keep
to.
your voice down. We don't want an audience yet, do we?
I'm scared, Miss Ferguson. I did what you wanted me to, and I thought that was an end of it.
Now, you listen to me. There is no risk, providing you do what you're told. Now, I've put a lot of work into this. It wasn't easy getting hold of Debbie's school friends and finding those snippets of information. And I'm not going to let anything stop me now. Understand?
What do you want me to do?
You're going to pay a little nocturnal visit to B. Smith. Or rather, Debbie's ghost is.
Oh, no. No, I can't. I don't know what Debbie's voice is like. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared of what Belle do if she finds out.
Your little crystal ball should have told you that you've got more than B. Smith to worry about.
No, I can't. No.
You'll do as you're told, understand? That's better.
What happens if we get caught?
You really are a fool, Moonbeam. Who's going to catch us? I'm the duty officer.
On our way home, are we, Miss Ferguson? If I could just have a moment of your time.
Certainly, Mr. Douglas.
Mrs. Powell, I tried to contact you last night, but your husband said that you were out for the evening.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get any message.
Oh, not to worry. We're all here now.
Yes, would you like to come through the office?
Well, I'm sure Mrs. Reynolds would love to see it, but all in good time. Well, ladies, may I introduce Mrs. Anne Reynolds, the new governor of Wentworth.
I see you before you go, Mr. Douglas.
Oh, good Lord, yes, I wouldn't throw you in the deep end like that. I'll see you in the office. Would you excuse us, Mrs. Morris? I want to have a few words with Miss Ferguson.
Yes, Mr. Douglas.
Disappointed?
I suppose I am, sir. It's only natural. But I'm sure the department has made the correct choice.
Yes, it has. Reynolds has been with the department for years. Well, not with corrective services, of course, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is that she puts first things first. Not social reform or rehabilitation, but the department. I mean, if you put the department first, then everything follows naturally, right?
Yes, well, I can't disagree with you there, sir. I take it Mrs. Reynolds was your choice?
No. No, unfortunately, the final choice wasn't mine. But never mind. We'll get there one day. In the meantime, I want you to give her all the help she needs. Birds of a feather, eh?
Yes?
Oh, Kerry Jacobs.
That's right.
I'm Joan Ferguson. We spoke on the phone about
Oh,
B. Smith.
Debbie Smith's mother. Come in, weren't you?
Thank you.
I'll get the letters for you. Go in. I really had to think after our talk. Thought I may have thrown all these out after my husband died. Letters can be cruel after something like that.
Oh, yes, I can imagine that.
Look, I'm sorry, but I really want to be sure I'm doing the right thing. Debbie really was my very best friend, and I'd hate to do anything to hurt her mother. Well, Mrs. Smith was a nice lady, despite what the papers said.
Oh, she still is. That's why I'm trying to help her.
I just don't see how Debbie's letters could help after all these years. I mean, how could they be used in a parole hearing?
Well, you see, if the letters can prove that Debbie and her mother were close, then the board can be reminded that the crime was a crime of passion. And I don't think her mother should be punished for that. Do you?
No. Debbie wrote that just before she died.
Taking your time this morning, Mackenzie?
What did you do to Smith while I was in the pound? She looks bloody awful.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she? You know, I don't think motherhood agrees with her.
Meaning?
Well, Moonbeam's been filling her head with nonsense about visits from the other side.
And she fell for that.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you? If your daughter knocked on your cell door in the middle of the night and called out to you? Good one.
Now what?
This. We're going to use part of a letter that her daughter wrote. A very special part. Yeah. One more night of softening up and I think we'll let her daughter give it to her.
Pity you're wearing that uniform. I could almost grow to like you.
Excuse me, I wonder if I might see Miss Ferguson. I'm her father.
Just a moment, sir. I think she's in the staff room on a tea break. Miss Ferguson?
Yeah?
Your father is here to see you.
All right, I'll speak to him.
Oh, I'll put him on. Here you are, sir.
Thank you. Joan?
Yes, Father. I'm afraid you've caught me at a bad time. I'm absolutely snowed under at the moment.
Oh, I see. Well, I was just passing on my way to the airport and I thought I'd drop in to say goodbye.
Yes, well, it was lovely seeing you again. You must let me know next time you're coming down.
Of course, though I don't know when that might be. Oh, before I forget, I've left a little something for you at the gate. I hope you like it. Joan? I think we were cut off. No matter, I said what I had to say. Thank you for your trouble.
That's all right, sir. Have a safe trip.
Ah, there you are, Miss Ferguson.
Yeah.
I'm knocking off, so I thought I'd better give you this. Your father left it at the gate earlier on. Didn't someone tell you?
Oh, yeah, I forgot, that's all. What is it?
Well, that'd spoil the surprise, wouldn't it? Good night.
All right.
Dear Joan, I've just been refused visiting rights, and I can't say I blame you. It seems that I can handle a full company of men without any trouble at all. But when it comes to my own daughter, I'm a complete idiot. I love you dearly, Joan. I don't expect this little chap to take Haddo's place, but I do hope he'll be a good friend to you. Perhaps one day, I will be too.
Well, little fella. You know what we're going to call you? Major. You've got a lot to live up to.